Our next guest is back for a second visit on the 2 Months podcast. He's played 345 games in the NHL with the Edmonton Oilers and the Nashville Predators. We like to welcome back Matt Benning to the 2 Months podcast. Matt, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Can't complain. Things are looking up. Just took on a new role at work, so can't complain with that. And just spreading the joy, spreading that love, and
Love
everything.
it.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah. It's what life's supposed to be. So congratulations to you. You guys got another one on the way. So another boy. So huge congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Yeah, I'm really excited.
yeah, that's
It's gonna be
awesome.
a lot of guys, and I feel bad for my wife. Our
Yeah,
our dog is my dog is a guy, and obviously we have Miles and me, and it's just
a lot
a
of
lot of guys all in one house. So
yeah.
she's like, maybe I'll have to get a female cat or a female dog or something like that to have some more females in the house.
Sure, yeah, spread that out so equal the numbers, I guess, at some point here along the way. But I guess we'll start and see how things are going. We had you on earlier, talked about your career, your road to the NHL, and then kind of leave it off where we talked about your first year with Nashville, but going in your second year with Nashville, and a little bit more fans, kind of somewhat normal environment in somewhat of a way. But you guys have a pretty good season to date. Things are rolling. And in my opinion, I think you guys play in the hardest division in the NHL. I think there's tough to have any off nights. You got to be on your game every night. But so far, what's your thoughts on the season you guys had so far?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, had a little bit of change in the off season, but for the most part, a lot of the same players. And um, you know what? We finished the season really strong. Last year, played Carolina. I mean, four out of the games went into overtime. Actually, might have been five. I'm not sure. But a lot of them went into overtime, and I mean, they're a good. They're a good team, as you can see this year. They're rolling, and so I mean, we knew that we had that in the locker room, and we can do it. And we play a very specific style of game. I think um, it's hard. It's physical. It's a lot of times it's hard for us to do,
Yeah,
um, and night in night out, especially when you're playing every second night. So, but yeah, we've kind of created that culture there, and a lot of the leadership groups done a really good job with the younger guys. We got a lot of younger guys. I mean, I'm only 27, and I feel like an older guy on the team.
yeah,
So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of players this year have taken off um, offensively, having career years or on the path to having career years. So, um, we're just kind of riding the mojo, and like you said, the our division's so tight. Like I remember there, we kind of do 10 game segments where every 10 games you kind of review like specific stats, and I think two segments in a row we were 8-2 and didn't move up or down in our division. So, it's so tight, but um, I think that's what makes it exciting.
yeah,
You're playing every night, and then if you're playing a divisional team, it's basically a 4 point swing. It's if you win, that's 2 points that you got, and 2 points they couldn't have. So, it's been a good season. It's been long. The All Star break was a good time for us, and just to kind of let our bodies heal for a few days. So
yeah.
it's been going well.
Hit that reset button a bit, and you get ready for the second half. Yeah, and you talked about it like there, and like saying like I think it's the toughest division you guys have, and but also we'll kind of go back to the the rivalry that you guys are creating with the Carolina Hurricanes. Obviously, you guys got to play them a lot, in the 56 game season, and then obviously in the playoffs there. But you know, and even like the game I was watching, you and Nishash were going at it pretty good there to start the game. But and I think you're second on your team for on the defense side for hits. So, and you've always been a pretty underrated player for your hits, open ice hits, and whatnot. But is that something you've taken on a little bit more pride in your game? Is just kind of that those hits when the right time to make them. Obviously, in this game, there's the potential for the suspension stuff, but you've been pretty clean and done it the right way. But how much has that adding to your toolbox has helped you out through your career here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think when I was in Edmonton, I kind of threw a little bit more open ice hits, um, but I think that kind of was a lot on the structure how we played in Edmonton. Where I mean, our structure is a little bit different here. I don't really get those same opportunities. Not saying that I'm not going to do it, but a lot of it's on your gaps and on your angles. And I mean, me and Boro try to play um, tough in your face game as a third pair. So I mean, like you said, the rivalry with Carolina has been strong the last 2 years because I think they play a very similar game. They're a forechecking team. I think they're top five in the league in forechecking, and we're third, I believe. So it's a lot of getting pucks in, finishing those checks, turning those pucks over, and um, so I think that rivalry is just, like we play very similar. We know what they're going to be doing. They know what we're going to be doing. And at that point, it's just who kind of wants it more, who's going to win that one-on-one battle. It's a lot of one-on-ones on the ice. So, but yeah, in terms of my game, like I just try to keep it simple, play hard and very competitive, whether that means hitting or not. Most of the time I don't try to go out of my way to make a hit, but if it's there, I'll make it.
Yeah, no, and you do a good job at that too. And I like that the rivalry, like in the grand scheme of things, obviously coming from a Canadian market to the American market, and anyone that knows the game really well knows that Nashville is a really hotbed. The fans there, it's a great atmosphere, especially in the playoffs. But just getting them more on the map than what they are just in those rivalries, I think is always good for the game. I think we need more of that, in my opinion. I think it's good to watch. Like that was one of the games I was glued to the other night, and it's going to be the same thing Tuesday night when you guys play Florida. They're rolling too, and another good test for you guys to get on to that. But you're leading in. We're pretty cool here. We got the outdoor game. How excited are you for that? We'll transition there. And have you been to go see the stadium so far? Being back in Nashville after the game against Carolina.
Yeah, you know what? We haven't been to the stadium. We took some pictures just on the outside, maybe a week ago, with all the staff and everybody at Bridgestone, and they're busy over there. We saw some pictures, like a time lapse of it. It looks like it's going to be really cool. The forecast is that was something that a lot of people were worried about. We get a lot of rain here in Nashville around this type of the year, and it says it's supposed to be, I think, 2 degrees to like 10 degrees, which is definitely doable. And you know what, it should be a great day. I know we've got like a lot of fans, obviously really excited. Got a lot of family members, a lot of our European parents are coming in for it. It's going to be quite the event, and it's a great way to kind of kick off the weekend with Pekka's retirement on Thursday. So it's going to be exciting, a lot of distractions, and as a player, it's almost a fine line of just enjoying it, but also being there to get the business done. I mean, it's 2 points at the end of the day, and whether it's in the middle of Nissan Stadium or Bridgestone Arena, it's kind of the same thing. So I'm definitely going to enjoy it, kind of leading up to the game, and then once it's time to put the gear on and go, it's business time.
Yeah, it's go time for sure. So, what's the most exciting part about that experience? Is it just obviously you touched on a little bit there with family and friends and whatnot? Is that obviously the most important thing is getting the 2 points, but from away from the rink, it's just that connection with family members and friends. How special is that? You obviously get to see some of those videos throughout the process leading up to it, but as a player side, how cool would that be?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think a lot of my teammates, we got a team that has a lot of young kids on our team, like uh my son being almost 2. Like there's a lot of kids that are around that age that are like know that their dad goes out there and plays hockey, and they're really excited. So I think there's a lot of us players that are excited to go out, and there's a family skate a few days beforehand, and go out there with your wives and your kids, and buzz around and kind of enjoy the atmosphere um the day before. So I know we're all looking forward to that. But besides that, like I haven't heard a whole lot in terms of what, like when we're going to be there, what we're doing, and that sort of thing. So, um, in terms of a fan's perspective, I think it'll be great. There'll be a lot of country stars there, watching the game, whether it's in the press box booths or performing. So, I mean, there's a lot of buzz around the city. They've been talking about it on the radio for a long time now. So, um, obviously got the new jerseys as well. So we're excited to try those out.
Yeah, it's always sick to bring out the new silks for sure. So, obviously, with COVID, you probably haven't really been able to experience that full Nashville experience what Fids had. So when we had him on about some of the country singers, but I like the music. It's good. Dirk Bentley's a legend. He's going to be performing, but kind of how cool it is to kind of have them even at the games, watching you guys, cheering you guys on. But and then I don't know if you've met some along the way since your 2 years there now.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, just with COVID, there's been um, some restrictions, but we've been fortunate enough to meet some of the stars, and whether it's band members of country stars, we've got a lot of guys who have created relationships with country stars and or their band members and that sort of thing. And they come and they love to watch hockey and cheer us on, and when we love to go and listen to them. So it's a good relationship. But I mean, for me, loving country music, I definitely wish that I could have met a lot more country stars. But I mean, that's just how it is. I get to see them in the stands, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that must be pretty cool just skating by. Do you have to like obviously you're in the zone there, but is there a moment you're just like kind of pinching yourself? Like that's pretty cool that they're watching me. Like as a player, that would be pretty sick to just have that experience.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was definitely, I mean, last year, kind of in the playoffs, that Taylor Lewan for the Titans. He went crazy and chugged a few beers and got the fans going. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah,
A few of the guys know him well and say he's an awesome guy. So it's cool seeing people around. Um, in Nashville, it's mainly country stars, but I mean when you travel to let's like New York and go to MSG or go to LA, there's always going to be
Will Ferrell.
stars there, whether they're actors or
Yeah,
just famous people. So I mean that aspect of it is cool, but a lot of times during the game, I'm not really paying attention unless it's a TV timeout. So
yeah, yeah. You guys are usually in the zone pretty quick in that. So
yeah,
once you get the skates laced up there. Um, one of the big guys we're talking about here, obviously, we posted some videos on our Instagram account. Tanner Janot, this guy has had an amazing season. I just love the way he plays. He's that. It makes me love the game a bit more because I like that physical type. That hard, tough, can score. And the game sometimes is lacking that, but this guy does it the best, probably the better than anyone. Great rookie season. What's it like to play with him on a nightly basis?
yeah. I mean, him and that line has been so good for us the past 2 years that I've been here, and um, I'm really happy for him and his success this year. He works so hard, and um, he's I think as a younger player, me going through the same thing uh, 4 years ago is it's tough to bring that and continue to do that every single night, and especially him. I mean, I believe he leads the league in fights. Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
no, he does. He does. Yeah, yeah,
So he leads the league in fights. I mean, he's scoring a lot of goals and helping out our team in any way, and he's definitely drawn a lot of attention by others, and rightfully so. He's a kid that comes to the rink and doesn't complain and works hard. And I mean, half the time he's covered in bruises and not his knuckles are cut up just from the way he plays. And I know that the guys in our room respect him a lot for that. And it's hard to consistently do that, especially when you're scoring. I think sometimes when guys are scoring, they think that they can stop doing the other things too. So I mean, he's been great for us. We've been using him lots on the penalty kill, and I was happy to see him out there last game get that 6-on-5 goal.
yeah,
Um, I mean, well deserved, and he works so hard.
yeah. And what is it? Yakov Trenin is another beauty on that line too. So another, talk about him. He's, I think he's fought Chara a few times, and
Yeah, he's fought Char a few times, and I mean, that whole
That whole line.
I find a lot. Me and Boro get out there with him, and
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the stat sheet, I'm the smallest guy at like 6'1", like 208, and I'm the lightest guy out there by 10 pounds. So, I mean, they're a big group of guys, and they've helped our team so much. Whether it's matching against the other team's big line, but you know what? They've been scoring lots. They can do it all.
Yeah, no, it definitely can. And obviously, you're paired up with Boro, the great story, Boro Cop, when he was with Ottawa there in Vancouver, that good story. But, talk about him as a deep partner. I know throughout the year things move around in times, but I think you've been paired with him the most. Talk about him as a deep partner, and you just got a contract extension too. So you guys are pretty excited to see that. So thoughts on him and what he brings to your guys' team on a nightly basis?
Yeah, I mean, Boro's. I think as a fan from the outside watching, you notice his physicality, whether it's finishing checks or fighting. But you know what? He's this year he's made really good plays. He's been really solid for us back there. I love playing with the guy. Very happy for his contract and for him to be back. Um, but I think what a lot of people don't see all the time is, and I think it's just because of there's not video cameras on us all the time, and he's not a guy to um, go over the top to show what he's doing, but he cares so much about his teammates. And I mean, if you watch him in warmups, he's interacting with kids in the crowd. He's signing pucks for small kids, and just to see their faces, like it's unbelievable what he does uh, off the ice as well. So, I mean, he's just an incredible human. And I mean, we've gotten close together the last 2 years, just being D partners, and our sons are the same age, same name too. So,
That's sick.
um, yeah, he's awesome. He's been a great fit for this team.
We talk about mentorship, like where I'm in construction, the construction side, and we talk about mentorship every day. What has Boro done for you on mentoring you? You could always learn at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how old you are, 27 or 47, you're still in the game. But what has he meant to you along your career so far?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's just how you treat people, how the off ice side of the game is such an important part to how you play on the ice. Like he went through a lot last year, and um, kudos to him. He went and he got the help he needed to, and he's had an amazing season this year. And sometimes that's a hard thing to do, especially as a hockey player, especially as a guy that goes out there and beats guys up. People don't think that you're scared of anything. So I mean, in that side of the thing, it's amazing to see. Um, and I think obviously that side, and what, in the dressing room, how to treat your teammates, how to check in on guys, how to keep that team mojo up. And I mean, another thing for sure is, I mean, he plays such a physical game, um, and he's a few years older than me. And I mean, there's games that I play physical, not even
Yeah.
close to what he plays, and my body's sore. So I think just him kind of showing me and the younger guys how to take care of your body and just be a pro is something special too.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's what you do off the ice translates to how good you can be on the ice too. And the great, obviously the training, and it's a tough schedule. 82 games. A lot of travel in there too. And then this year throwing a wrench into things. Sometimes you're traveling a place you don't know if you're going to play and whatnot too. So it's extra wear and tear on the body. But we'll talk about your coaches. You got quite the coaching staff. John Hines, amazing coach in my opinion. He's done well this year. You got Richards there, High Note, Lambert. But talk about what those coaches mean to you and how much they're helping you grow your game every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Heinze's been a coach that I think that my style of game clicks with the way he's very structured, very defensive minded. And I think the way I think on the ice, especially in our own zone, is I mean, if somebody goes and gets the puck in the corner, I know where I need to be, and I know where everyone else is going to be, and and I just got to trust that structure. So I can almost throw pucks to a certain area, knowing and trusting that my teammates are going to be there.
Yeah.
And I'd say 75% of the time you have that split second to get your head up and make a play, but it's those 20, that other 25% of the times that, you know what, there's a guy right on you. You just need to trust that he's there. So I think that's definitely helped our team success, my individual success as well. And I think he has a really good, um, I don't want to say leash, but um, understanding on how the game is played. And like sometimes guys will make mistakes, but it's a fine line of getting on top of guys versus if you see the same mistake 3 or 4 times, then it's probably time to get on the guy and be like, hey, we're seeing something here, let's try to work through this. So he's definitely a coach that guys love to play for. um, and I guess moving on from that, it's um, Lambert. He's been our power play guy, which I'm not on. I'm not much of a power play guy, although I used to be in college and
They,
first 2 years in Edmonton, which I tell him the odd time.
they got that hammer on the
I,
point.
s- I said I said check my power play numbers, Lambo.
Yeah.
Um, you know what, he mainly deals with the forward, but we have a great relationship, him and I, and it's more of a joking relationship. We like to crack jokes and have fun, which is good, and you need that on the coaching staff. Um, and I think just transitioning into um, Danny Heinold, he's a guy that's obviously played in the NHL for a while and is not far removed, and I think he's a perfect fit for our team because he uh, he understands both sides of it as a coach and as a player, and he's almost a good cop in in the dressing room, coming in, making sure guys are doing okay, um, and he understands how a lot of us work. Some of us can take, you know, a good yelling, and some of us kind of, curl up into a ball when coaches yell at you. So he's a great fit for our team. Has brought a lot to our penalty kill as well. And then obviously our D coach, Richie, he's been great for me. Um, he's been a guy that's, you know, really trusted me, which I really appreciate. It's a good feeling when you go out there and you're gonna make mistakes. It's just hockey. If no one made mistakes, it'd be 0-0. Knowing that you can come back to the bench and he's not over your ear and um, yelling at you for your mistake. I think as NHL players, 95% of the time when we make a mistake, we know what the right play was, and we know we can do it. It's just we didn't do it, and it was a split second decision. So I think he has a good mix of laying off guys and letting them play, but also um, offering their support.
Yeah, no, it's a great coach. He's definitely have it, and I like that resume there. Like a lot of those guys is good, and the high note one is really good too because you're not too far removed from the situation, and you nailed it right there. Is just he's a good cop, kind of that where a guy that was just very fresh from coming from playing and now getting into coaching, and it's a good organization. I think what that organization's done, there's some good structure there, and I'm very happy for John Hines to get the chance that he's getting and blossoming the way he is. And you guys are coming on, and I know that second half of the season is going to be a tough one, but you guys are going to plug through pretty quick and pretty good there. We'll talk about Pecorine. Obviously, you touched on earlier in the pod. He's getting his jersey retired, and last time we had you on, we talked about him a bit there too. But the importance that he's meant to to the organization, to hockey, and obviously his own country, Finland, where they just won the gold medal in the Olympics last night. But what he's meant for the game and that organization and the fan base you guys have there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wish I could have played a lot longer with Pex. But in the year that we played together, he was the one thing that I think I touched on this on the last pod, but his work ethic, his leadership, were the first two things, and how he treated people, almost similar to Boro, like just so nice. He was always involved with the community, involved with kids. Just such a nice, kind person. So, um, and I mean, most people from the outside as fans know how good he was on the ice,
Yeah.
and how important he was to this team, and that sort of thing. So, I mean, he's definitely a legend here in Nashville, and wish he could stay in Nashville, but I think he's heading back home to Finland after this. So he'll be missed by a lot of the guys. He's definitely a guy in the locker room that is somebody you want to be around.
Yeah. That's yeah, it's pretty special, you know, what he's done and how he's helped the game out and growing it and doing great things on that front. And you know, yeah, it sucks that you haven't played that the 1 year with him, but the importance that he's had to the organization, to the fan base, you know, it's pretty special to see. You know, shift gears. You know, Roman Yossi's having a hell of a year. I think 51 points, 48 games. Just a machine back there. You know, what does it mean to, you know, have a guy like that? He's one of the best captains in the league, and you know, great guy to learn from too, and add some of the things that he does to your game, which is always good too to help out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he leads by example, and I think um, from last year to even this year, his off ice leadership has grown tremendously. Um, he's a guy that, I mean, has played in every situation, knows how to handle it, and I think a lot of us lean on him for that, as well as others. So, I mean, yeah, having a great year. I mean, playing every situation for us, and um, been doing really well. So, I mean, he's an X factor out there for us.
Yeah,
He's carrying the puck lots. He's making plays. He's shooting. And I think a lot of people obviously can see his offensive side of the game, but I mean, this year if you watch him in the D zone and defending, he defends hard. He hits. He's I think a lot more rounded, um, as this year, compared to probably earlier in his career, which is a testament to him. And he's still producing offensively.
yeah.
So um, you know, he's a great guy. He's a great leader for us, and yeah, he's been playing awesome.
Yeah, no, he definitely has. And you see Saros, you know, it's cool to kind of see like in the NHL, you know, you see goaltenders, it's all about size and big. You know, Saros is to the standard in the NHL isn't the, you know, the that mold, but what he's done this year, you know, having a hell of a year again. He's meant, how much has he meant to you guys? Obviously, you can talk about it for lengths, but you know, kind of the cool things that maybe someone doesn't know about him too, the competitiveness, what is it like off the ice, you know, certain things like that, where how much his motivation to being where he is today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, last year, um, having Pex and him was a cool dynamic. They're both very competitive, but very nice people. Um, and I think Juice is obviously very competitive, um, but you know, and I think a lot of his work ethic came from probably Pex being his mentor, and he's a guy in practice that, you know what, a lot of goalies, if you pass it on a 2-on-1 backdoor, a lot of goalies will just say, "Oh, like good pass. Like I'm not going to try to make that save." Where Juice is that guy sliding across, doing the splits, trying to make that save in practice. And um, I mean, he's a leader for us. He's a guy. I can speak for it myself. I mean, if I'm on a 2-on-1, my thought process is I know Juice is going to make the save. I just cannot let this puck go through me to the back door because of this. If they're going to score, it's because it's an open net. So,
Yeah.
I mean, having that confidence in him is so huge, and I think he has confidence in us that we're going to be making our plays. And I think it's a great relationship. He's played a lot of games this year and doesn't complain and works hard and just buries his head and does his thing, and we love him for it. So
Yeah.
he's almost the guy in the locker room he's so nice that you like feel bad chirping him or making fun of him, uh, because he's such a nice guy. You just want to give him a hug.
Yeah, that's that's awesome. And you got, like, I think you guys got a great team. You know, there's a lot of good guys down the lineup you can talk about, and Matt Duchene's one of them. He's had a hell of a year. You know, proving people wrong. Maybe people were kind of down on him, but you know what he's done for you guys this year. And and 44 points in 46 games. The importance of having him. You guys got some great depth down the middle, but even Johansson's really good there too. But talk about Duchesne, how much has he meant to that organization? Just coming into, I think this is his second year or third year with you guys.
Third for sure, maybe
Yeah.
four. I think it's three.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's obviously had a great year thus far, and he's shooting the puck really well. But he's playing a well-rounded game. I think too. He's defending. He's protecting pucks down low. He's a big guy. He's strong. Um, and you watch him in the corners. He's quick, where guys are leaning on him, and then all of a sudden Dutchy will make a spin move, and he'll be ahead of the guy going to the net. And I mean his line mates this year with Forsberg and Granny has been really good. Granny's more of a passer, and feels mainly a shooter. But I think having that threat of Dutchy and Phil as a shooting threat has kind of opened up each other. And I mean Granny's made a lot of really nice plays to them, so they're getting themselves in really good shooting spots and scoring spots. And I mean there's lots of nights where they might have one or two goals on the line combined, where I mean it could easily be four or five. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're playing really well for us.
Yeah, for sure. No, they are. Okay, we'll finish up on you, and then we'll talk about your brother. The season you've had. Are you happy with what's going on with you this year? Where's your confidence level at going into the second half of the season?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I've taken a step not only offensively compared to last year, but just I think in a little bit more of a leadership role. Um, like I'm the oldest player on the right side D. Um, and I mean, me and Boro have done a really good job, I think, on the penalty kill and providing the team with solid, I mean, shot blocking and
Yeah,
defending on the PK. So I mean, we take a lot of pride in that. And I think kind of at the end of last year, I kind of thought that what, maybe I need to work on my puck skills a little bit um, going into next season. And I think um, have a good summer and working on a lot of my skills. I mean, breaking up pucks, just making those little quick plays has paid off. So, um, I mean, for me, I try to play the same way all the time. It's I'm not going to be out there doing Romans things, but
yeah,
it's simple with me, and I think simple, hard, and competitive is kind of like my three things that I try to do. So um, I've been happy with the season, and you know what, just with COVID and some injuries, I've had the chance to play up in the lineup, and thought that I did well. So
yeah.
I think my minutes this year are a little bit higher too than
Yeah, no,
last
I
year.
think you're almost pushing to 17. So and I've watched you a lot, obviously in Edmonton, and then getting to just to know you here through this year, and and last year too. I think you're underrated in the offensive side. I don't, in my opinion, I think you have a lot to offer, and at times with the way back ends are kind of utilized, and you got Matthias Ekholm there too. So you guys got a really good decor, and we talked about earlier how it would be great to see you on the power play. But throughout the year, you've been able to move up in the lineup. There's some games you're playing with Yossi too that I've seen, and I think that's just good for the confidence and helping you out. Gaining, and you're 27 years old. There's a lot of years left in your career. Just pushing that 400 game mark, getting to that point, and how much that means. And a lot of times, like Dale Talent said, you don't really know what you have in a defenseman until maybe they hit that 300 game mark, and you're a very established NHL player. And I think what you've done this year too, utilizing your leadership skills too. And I watch your games, coming down, this guy's coming down, you're pointing, helping guys out, directing guys where they need to kind of go. And I think that's kind of cool that you see defensemen do that because they're very aware of their surroundings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll finish up on your brother, Michael. He's having a hell of a year at the University of Denver. How many games do you watch? I know sometimes it's tough with your schedule, but I've seen sometimes on Instagram you're checking out some games online there. But the year he's having, and how much of a help how much does he lean on you for the help through his career right now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think he's doing a good job. He's a much different player than I was in college, and um, I mean, he's scoring lots, doing well offensively, and I think just from the games that I've watched, he's been a lot more committed on the defensive side of the puck, which is a good thing, especially, I mean, in the future, he's probably going to turn pro. Um, so, I mean, when you turn pro, you have to defend no matter how good you are. So, I mean, I think for him, that defensive side of the game has been good. Their team is good. They're playing a lot of really good teams in their division, and I mean, college hockey's tough. It's really fast. I mean, guys are very physical. He's a smaller guy. He can scoot out there, but he's very headsy, which I think will translate to the NHL or pro hockey very well. He knows where everyone's at, so um, he's he's a guy that, I mean, you watch him play, and all of a sudden he's a D-man and he's on a breakaway or he's on a 2-on-1. And I was like, I mean, in my head, I'm thinking there's no way you'd find me up there on a 2-on-1, but I mean, that's what makes him good. And he's scoring and he's having a great year.
Yeah, no, he definitely is. It's good to see another, another good kid from Alberta, from Edmonton, going to shine in that aspect and have a great career too. Before we let you go, we didn't do this last time with you, but we always do it, and it's easier to do it if you're a retired player. But we have this segment called Drill Killers. So throughout your career, if you don't want to, you don't have to. But is there any kind of drill killers you've had in your career? From I guess even back to junior to the NHL, if you have any at all. So
Yeah, I mean, geez, in Edmonton, I used to be the drill killer, and guys on the team would probably throw me under the bus. And when we had Todd McClelland, he'd yell at me all the time for screwing up the drill. But um, and I'm sorry,
yeah,
uh, Yakov Trenin, but I think half the time he just doesn't understand what the coach is saying,
yeah,
and he always goes first in the drill, and at a lot of the times he's doing it wrong, but uh, I mean, it gets a good laugh from the guys and the coaching staff as well. So he loves being first. He loves going first, and I'd say sometimes he doesn't know what he's doing, but the good thing about that is uh, now part of the season is that a lot of the drills that we're doing now we've done for the last 4 or 5 months. So if he doesn't get them by now, then I think he's in trouble.
exactly. He's gonna get that trophy at the end of the day. So for that
Yeah,
drill killer. So all right. Well, we appreciate you coming back on with us. It means a lot to catch up with you halfway through the year. We wish you the best, second half of the year and continued success. It's been great watching you, and we really appreciate you being a part of our podcast and helping us out, and growing the game and understanding the game and having a good kind of chat back and forth. So it means a lot to us.
no, I appreciate for your time and for having me, and uh, hopefully get some of my teammates on here soon.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe there's a time where you guys are on the road and we can just throw the pot, and just that guys in the room would just shoot the shit or something like that. So
Yeah,
whatever works
absolutely.
means a lot. So thanks for everything, and yeah, cheers to you for the rest of the season. And it's gonna be sweet looking at that outdoor game. So have fun there.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.